Have you ever felt a strange pull towards someone you've just met? As if the universe quietly rearranged itself for that single encounter. Imagine walking into a room, a cafe, a park, anywhere at all, and suddenly time slows. The air feels different. Your heart beats in a rhythm you've never felt before. You don't know why, but you feel as though you've come home. This is the feeling many describe when they meet their soulmate. Carl Jung believed that such meetings are not coincidences, but deep psychological events, reflections of your own inner journey. In this video, stay with me until the end, because you're about to discover not only how it feels to meet your soulmate, but also how to prepare your soul for that meeting. At first, it's rarely dramatic or loud. Sometimes it's a quiet recognition, like the soft click of a lock turning. You look into someone's eyes and feel a pull that words cannot explain. Their face may not be familiar to your mind, yet your heart swears it remembers. The sensation is both unsettling and comforting. It's as if two invisible threads have finally found each other after drifting for lifetimes. Jung would say that this recognition is not magic, but a mirror. You are encountering parts of yourself through another human being. You feel drawn because a hidden piece of you is being awakened. This meeting feels like stepping out of a long winter into warm sunlight. The ice around your heart begins to melt. You sense that your walls are no longer needed. You find yourself speaking more honestly, breathing more deeply, laughing without self-consciousness. For perhaps the first time, you are not performing, you're simply present. Their presence invites yours. It's not about perfection, it's about resonance. Something inside you whispers, "This person sees me," and you do see them. Not just their smile or their gestures, but their essence. That's why it feels so rare and so powerful. However, Jung emphasized that before such a meeting can transform your life, you must first meet yourself. The process he called individuation, integrating your shadow, your fears, your contradictions, is what prepares you to recognize and sustain deep love. Without that inner work, a soulmate encounter can be overwhelming or even destructive, because you may project your unmet needs onto them. But when you have begun to accept your own wounds, your own complexity, your heart becomes a safe space for another. You're no longer looking for someone to complete you. You're inviting someone to journey with you. Picture walking down a street, your mind elsewhere, and then suddenly locking eyes with someone. You feel a strange calmness, like an exhale you didn't know you were holding. You notice details. The way they tilt their head, the tone of their voice, the steadiness of their gaze. You're drawn in not by what they do, but by what you feel in their presence. Your soul feels recognized. It's a wordless yes echoing between you. That's how many people describe the first brush with their soulmate. A sense of déjà vu mixed with discovery. This feeling doesn't mean life instantly becomes easy. In fact, meeting a soulmate often shakes your old patterns. You realize your definitions of love were too small, your fears too loud. You start questioning habits, beliefs, and even your sense of identity. This person's presence pushes you to grow. They mirror your higher self, but also highlight your blind spots. It's not always comfortable, but it's always awakening. True soulmate connections are less about escaping reality and more about facing it with a new depth of courage. Imagine conversations that go beyond surface talk. Hours pass and you don't notice. Silence between you feels natural, not awkward. You share dreams you've never told anyone. They listen not to reply, but to understand. They don't try to fix you, and you don't try to fix them. Instead, You both feel inspired to become better simply because you're in each other's lives. This is what Jung meant when he spoke of two souls meeting. Each becomes more of who they are, not less. Yet such depth can trigger fear. Old wounds may resurface. You may worry about losing them or about not being enough. This is normal. A deep bond exposes your soft spots, but rather than retreating, you're invited to stay present, to breathe through the discomfort, to trust the process. This is how love matures. You learn that real intimacy isn't about never being afraid. It's about being brave enough to be seen even when you are afraid. When you meet your soulmate, you don't lose yourself. You find new layers of yourself. Their presence acts like a mirror, reflecting both your light and your shadow. You discover patience you didn't know you had, compassion you hadn't practiced, and strength you hadn't accessed. The relationship becomes a path of mutual evolution. Together, you learn to hold space for each other's dreams, mistakes, and transformations. You don't become one person. You become two whole people, choosing each other again and again. Sometimes the connection feels so strong, it's overwhelming. You might feel as though your life before them was a rehearsal, and this is the real performance. But the healthiest way to honor such a bond is to remember that even soulmates are human. They will have flaws, moods, and limitations. The magic isn't in perfection. It's in the courage to love through imperfection. When you accept this, the relationship becomes a sanctuary rather than a cage. Meeting your soulmate also awakens a deeper purpose. You start to sense that your life is not just about surviving or achieving, but about growing in consciousness. Love becomes a practice, not just a feeling. You're motivated to heal old wounds, to communicate honestly, to cultivate empathy. You stop asking, "What can I get?" and start asking, "How can I show up?" This shift transforms not only your relationship, but your entire existence. You carry more light into your work, your friendships, your creativity. You become a living example of what you once only dreamed about. Jung's insights remind us that a soulmate is not someone who makes your life easier, but someone who calls forth your authentic self. The electric moment of meeting them is just the beginning. The real work and the real joy comes from walking the path together, learning, forgiving, growing, laughing, and sometimes stumbling, but always returning to truth. It's a journey of self-discovery mirrored in another's eyes. If you've been longing for such a connection, begin by turning inward. Ask yourself, have I met my own soul? Have I accepted my shadows, my hopes, my fears? The more whole you become, the more naturally you'll recognize a soulmate when they appear. It won't feel like desperation. It will feel like alignment. And when you stand in that place, love arrives, not as a rescue, but as a meeting of equals. So when it happens, you will know. Not because fireworks explode or angels sing, but because you feel an unshakable calm. You feel both excited and grounded. You're not trying to impress, you're simply being. And that being is enough. Their eyes say, "I see you," and yours say, "I'm here." In that quiet exchange, something eternal moves. Two lives intersect, and a new story begins. As you listen to these words, imagine that moment. Imagine yourself ready, open, present. Feel the possibility of it. Let it inspire you to do the inner work, to heal, to grow, to live authentically. Because the best way to meet your soulmate is to become the kind of soul who recognizes them and who can offer them the same depth you seek. And when you do meet them, remember, this is not an ending, but a beginning of deeper honesty, deeper courage, deeper love, a partnership not of escape, but of expansion. Two people walking side by side, each free, each whole, each daring to love with their entire being. Stay till the end of this video, because the insights we've explored aren't just about romance. They're about how you live, how you connect, and how you grow. Meeting your soulmate is not a fantasy. It's a mirror of your own readiness to live truthfully. If these words resonate with you, take a deep breath and imagine stepping into that version of yourself who is ready for such a connection. Let it guide your choices, your healing, your daily acts of courage. Because the path to your soulmate is the path to yourself. If this message touched you, share it with someone who needs hope today.